Is that better, Jen? No idea. Is it back now? Is it back now? Is it back now? I know you're like 30 seconds behind. Better. Right. That doesn't fill us with confidence, Jen, that it's just better than silence. But anyways, thank you very much for letting me know, although before I went off on a whole diatribe of whatever. Well, to be honest, Paul, it probably was. Probably was. But whilst I was on, like, muted, is that, is everything else switched on by the way? is that I listened back to the, I think it was last week's episode, and the audio, like, through headphones though, so it's like really, you can hear everything, and it still sounds a bit naff. So I think I still need to work on levels and stuff. What was I going to do? Yeah, Focusrite, which is that one. Filters. I was going to increase something. Oh, that's on 80, so it should be all right. I do need to clot around a little bit more with the sound. I do need to clot around a little bit more with the sound just to try to make it better. One of the main problems is the desktop, which is like here, like just here. It's constantly putting out quite loud fan noise, so that interferes with everything. So I thought tonight I will give it a go by having the mic very close to my face. So hopefully that'll make it a bit better. Fingers crossed anyway. So if it's like closer, then it's got less chance of having surround noise getting in the way. So I might be a bit louder than normal. We'll see. Let me know if I am too, well, if I am too loud, just turn me down. Simple answer to that. So anyways, good evening, everybody. How are you all? Hope you're all well. Welcome along to Tuesday Night Edits. Before we get into, like, what I'm going to show you, not even Jen knows, unless she's gone poking around the back end of Stream Elements. Before getting to all that, drop the stream a like before I like push loads of like do this and do that for us. Just look at Stream Elements. There's a new command, Jen. You'll be able to see it. That's if I've set it up right. But yeah, I've had a bit of fun the last 2 days. I mean, this kind of carries on from last week, where I previewed a particular thing on stream. So it's a bit of a continuation of that. And then I went down a bit of a rabbit hole, and I had a productive Monday for a change. Not many Mondays are as productive as I was yesterday. So after that yesterday and a good chunk of today, and obviously streaming tonight, I think that'll be the extent of my work for the week. Far too busy. Far too productive for 1 week already, and it's only Tuesday. But yes, if you enjoy the stream, or if you enjoy coming to the stream each week, do leave the stream a like before I just start flogging your stuff for the next half an hour maybe. So, anyways, how are we all? Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Andrew. Good morning, Jen. Good afternoon, Ozzy. Who else we got? Good evening, Sten. Good evening, Sergio. Good afternoon, Kathleen. Is that everybody now? Excited for announcement. Have you been to look then, Jen? Have you been to look in the back end of Stream Elements? Because I didn't even let you know what was going on. The only thing I didn't have time for was to like prepare any on-screen graphics. On-screen graphics. So I'm just you're nosy. I thought you might be. No. Don't take that. don't take it that way. But yes, what was that? Yes, I haven't got any on-screen graphics to push it at the moment. That'll come. Probably in time for next week, fingers crossed. So at the moment it is currently only online. Good afternoon, Greg. Ontario's on the west, more west than... It'll be afternoon for you, won't it? It's only the extreme west is still morning, isn't it? Good afternoon, Greg. Welcome along. Hope you're well. Oh, there he is. We can start now. Peter's here. Good afternoon, Peter. How are you, sir? Hope you are all well. Oh, and fine and main checking in. Is this like the Eurovision Song Contest where it's like calling in from Estonia is almost 3 p.m. Oh God, time's ticking on, isn't it? We're nearly through bloody September. It's almost October already. It's almost what's it called? Autumn. Well, it probably is. Is it classed as autumn now? Hi, Serge. Calling in from France. How many points from France today then, Serge? Oh, look at you, Peter. It is autumn. It feels a bloody autumn. And actually, we're going to get battered tomorrow by weather. I think it's the remnants of... Is it a remnants of a hurricane or something, is it? Or is this just a general deep depression in the Atlantic that's whipping in? There's a guy in the village who's just come back from Ireland today, I think. Or maybe it's like yesterday. And he says they're all battening down the hatches over there, ready for tomorrow's storm coming in. So we'll see what happens. We're over on the east side, so hopefully we'll be all right. And all the winds will just hit the Cheviots and be deflected over. There's a deep depression in your living room. That doesn't sound good, Andrew. That doesn't sound good. You're meant to be upbeat. It's Tuesday, best day of the week, because you all get to see me. So, right. So I obviously got this launch announcement to make, but other than that, I haven't really got anything planned. So I'm not even sure. Why is that trying to load a picture? So I think what we'll do editing wise is maybe just do a quick. I always say a quick, a brief edit from. God, is that nearly a month ago already? From the last time I took any pictures at the beginning of September. 3210. What are you on about, Sage? Oh, is this the Eurovision points from France for my performance? Yeah, I'd give myself 0 as well. Definitely. Right, we get that out of the way. The launch. All right, are you getting impatient, Serge? Right. So maybe Jen's already seen this. But I've launched today. Well, I've just kind of connected all the dots today. I did the bulk of the work yesterday. Is that football tonight as well? Is Tuesday like a night for Italian games? I'm guessing it's Italian or French or where. I apologise, Sergio. I can never remember which actual European country you're in. But yeah. So I've set this up and I've even registered a brand new domain for it. I managed to get a .com domain as well, and it was fairly cheap, and I couldn't believe nobody already had it. Sergio Spain. All right. I'm going to be a heathen and say, well, it's all over the water for me, so it'll become quite similar. Oh, you are in Italy. I was right. I was right to start with. So I'm saying a new website. I've started a merchandise shop. So I had a lot of fun yesterday configuring design. Well, I was doing design work over the weekend. And yesterday I spent creating some stuff. Okay, Sergio. So I've been creating some products and configuring all that. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. Even added in just a couple this afternoon as well, just to spice it up, because somebody suggested something to me last week. Was it last week? Yes, a friend of mine last week, when I told them what I was going to be doing, and said, "Oh, you're going to put your work on?" And I was thinking, oh, I never thought of that. So you can all you're from Sicily, all right. I get you. So I need the chat thing. Where's that chat thing? So if I'm going to put it into the chat, hopefully this works. So I am now launching a merchandise site. So you can all, some of it, there's some Tuesday night edits, branding stuff. There's the new domain name, which is the King of ICM, which obviously I'm claiming as mine, even though I didn't give myself that moniker. I'm just running with it. It's not an ego thing. It was given to me. So I'm launching that today, and you can click on that and have a bit browse. I will actually switch my screen so I can show you around the site a bit. So, like, it does give you the stuff that I've added in most recently at the top. But hopefully the website works for you, because I only configured the domain this afternoon. Peter, actually, I can offer socks if needed. And yes, there's still a few essentials to add. I must say, there's still essentials to add. So we have a range of t-shirts, a couple of hoodies, obviously a couple of tea mugs or coffee mugs, whichever one you want to call it. Potentially, Serge. Potentially, I am a bit. I'm a bit of a rebel that way. So we've got a couple of mugs with this King of ICM design on. Beanie hat as well. Obviously the prices should configure, depending on what coinage you are, should convert into your local coinage. Supposedly all the products that I'm offering here do get dispatched from the US and the EU, so there should be no customs stuff, but seek advice on that if need be. Don't ask me, I haven't got a clue. They are printed all over the world, actually, Peter. So if you are in the US, it will be printed in the US and dispatched from the US. And if you're in Europe, then they are printed in Europe and dispatched from Europe. So I think I've selected all products that are printed in either the EU or the US. So, well, I was thinking of winter coming up, Andrew, because I've lost my neck gaiter I don't know where it is. So I fancied something a little bit more colourful and a little bit more me. Good point, Ozzy. Good point. Been here on Amazon Phil. Jen, slow down, Jen. Slow down. I was going to follow up with something. But thank you very much, Jen. That's I haven't got the buying notifications through on the on the old Stream Elements to do this yet. Of course. Well, to be honest, Serge, I'm effectively in the EU. Well, I'm not in the EU, but you know what I mean. I'm this side of the thing. So I didn't really want to be costing myself a load of customs to get it into into the UK. In time, Peter. In time. Thankfully, I didn't have to do any modelling. Obviously, this fella has hair, Paul. So it's not going to be anything to do with me, is it? But yes, if you have any suggestions of what else I should be offering, please do let me know. Obviously, we've got a few ideas of a cap, and what else was there? Socks, Peter, really. And there is a size guide along with each thing, Serge. So there's a I don't know if there's a drop down thing somewhere. If I go here, there's a size and fit thing here, size chart, and it opens it up as a PDF, and it'll tell you what size is what. It'll give you the measurements. So it should hopefully be all straightforward for you. And like a lot of the t-shirts have choices of colours as well. There's for this one there's a grey version, and I made a yellow version for some reason. But others have more choice in colours. Some colours are restricted on what sizes you can get, but it's all kind of pre-configured and all that, so it should all be good fun. Like I think this one has tripods are for weenies. It's a good point, Peter. I need to think about more. I need to think more about that. I do make a little bit of money. I haven't because it's like an initial launch. I am not pushing it to make like stupid amount of money. So I'm just because right at this moment I don't know how good these shirts are and stuff. So I'm keeping the price low, but I'm still making a little smidgen. But what I was gonna say before Jen went and spent some money is that if you are a Patreon or a YouTube member, I am actually going to kind of not rebrand the Patreon, but I'm going to work on the Patreon. So before I got distracted, I forgot that you can choose t-shirt colours and stuff like that to your heart's content. Obviously, so some have got a bit more choice, etc., etc. What was I saying? But like before I go, so Patreon supporters, and YouTube members and other VIPs. So I am going to kind of rejig the Patreon a bit. Well, I'm not going to change any of the tiers or anything like that. I'm just going to kind of rename things. And pass, Andrew. I was going to say, is this on my Facebook page? Or is this the story? Is this the story that auto posts from Instagram, Andrew? Very good, Serge. Very good. Where was I before I got distracted again? Yes, Patreon. So I'm going to rejig Patreon a bit. Kind of rephrase things on there. But Patreon people and YouTube members, I have created a discount code, Jen, which will save you 15% to start off with. You know, if you so if you are a Patreon subscriber and all of that, and would like to support the channel, or support, you know, get some stuff, then hold on until I send it out later. Okie dokie, Jen. Well, thank you very much for being the first. You may always refer to yourself as being the first supporter of the merch store. It's almost worth a T-shirt in itself. So yes, so I have got an idea for at least one more T-shirt to do with mainly Patreon supporters and basically, you know, the people that support me on there with paid stuff. Yeah, just keep on saying merch and it keeps on coming up as well. I'll set that up as well. So that is, did I go through all the other things? Yeah, so we've got the, I mean, obviously you've got the site in front of you. So we've got the Netgator, or Schnood, or whatever you want to call it. So I think I'll be getting myself one of these, because it'll soon be turning gold. But like I say, I didn't price things massively, you know, stupidly high. A friend of mine suggested doing like particular images on a T-shirt. So I had a look around and discovered that converting reds to CMYK for printing is pretty tricky. So there might not be many red ones appearing on. So I chose two of my favourite classic images, and so we've got the tree standing and psychedelic Harbottle, which are two definite favourites, and obviously the from last week the. You did, Jen, by about 30 seconds. Unless you went poking around earlier on today. The T-shirt that I showed you last week, which I got printed up, so that's up there. It is slightly different to the one I got made for myself. I kind of edited it a little bit, simplified it, but that is there. And then we're into the king of ICM branding. Tuesday Night Edits branding, so you can buy a T-shirt and sit there and watch me on a Tuesday night. I might try to do like a polo shirt as well, so there's like logo embroidered under the on the breast. Might do that, and a couple of hoodies, because I need a hoodie, to be honest. Winter is coming, and it's getting a bit chilly to be sitting in that. It'll soon become a bit chilly to sit in the house. Without, you know, in just a T-shirt. So it was a good excuse for me to order a hoodie as well. So I'm going to do that. So, but yeah, if you are buying anything, if you're a Patreon supporter, please just wait for the slight discount, and which I'll get through later on, and then what else? And let me know how it goes. I think delivery times is around about 5 days, I think they were saying, for a lot of things. 3 to 5 days. Now, I know somebody else of somebody else who's just recently set one up on here, and their customers were getting their stuff, in literally 3 days. So I think it's a pretty swift operation if you get, probably if you catch it during the middle of the week. Splodges at them. Write these things down, Peter. Write these things down, and I'm sure I can work on things. Because I mean, to be honest, what I wanted to do was a lot more stream related things. But seeing as I didn't have you all to talk to think about phrases and stuff, because I wanted to drop all this and surprise you. So that's why we only started off with the Always Turns Out Red one initially. So we'll work on those. But yes, if you've got any thoughts about phrases that we usually use or whatever, please do just let us know in the Discord. Join the Discord if you haven't already. That's a good thing. Thank you very much, Peter, for your for playing the tip game. Very kind of you, Peter. Thank you very much. And but yeah, right. So that's the launch bit done. Thank you very much for everybody for checking that out and bearing with me whilst that is all going on. Now, what button do I need? Let's go back to this, and then we can get underway with some image editing. If I close this down, it'll save a bit of stuff. To catch up. So if you're excited by any of those products, give the stream a like. Let's work on those numbers, people. Let's work on those numbers. Right, let's... So let's go back to here. So we are back at Warkworth, excuse me, which obviously had a one-to-one day back in early September, down by the river. So there was a couple of frames in amongst this I kind of thought that would go quite light, quite airy, and just basically see how, if we can, get something quite wispy and a bit more ethereal, and even more ethereal than normal. Go quite, very light, almost watercolor type of thing. Come back, camera. Are they going to work? Yay. So kind of do that. So let's go for this one. I'm just going to mark these with 2 so I know where I'm heading. So that one, definitely that one, because you got some nice structure here on the trees. Use that one for a bit wispiness. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's 5. That'll do. Let's not complicate matters. Right, so let's pick this one. Yeah, let's pick this one. Develop module. Basics. Auto, that'll probably warm it up a bit. Go cloudy. Wow. It's made it greener. Okay, let's boost the yellows a bit. Looking for something kind of warm. Let's boost ours. Contrast, drop the contrast. Because we're looking to get a bit wispiness and a bit like water. It's almost like a watercolor. I'm kind of thinking of trying to aim for. We'll see how it works out. It'll, go in with the best of intentions and all that. Whether it'll work out that way, who knows? Right, so that's dust spots. I must have shot this quite wide open. Only the one there. Well, certainly wouldn't be the I love sensor dust. Just faffing around is definitely an option, Peter. Definitely. Right, I don't think I need anything else out of those. Detail, sorry, we need to change that one. Boost that ISO control up to that. Let's sync all those settings across those. Should we give everything reasonable? Oh, a nice warm cast. This could get a bit, get a little bit warm. Right, edit it in as this. That was the version I opened. Yes, it was. Yeah, there was a few. I started doing that. Switch back. There was a few images I kind of fancied putting on the t-shirts, but it was very like swapping them out to CMYK color was quite degrading. My colors are bad enough to print on normal printers, so doing it on CMYK stuff, far nigh impossible. Almost impossible. Come on, Photoshop. Getting there. Almost there. Still not getting any faster. Well, it probably is, but it could be faster. Right, swap back before I forget. And you're all looking at me whilst I'm editing. Never a great thing. Right, I've got them all selected. So, like I say, aiming to make this kind of light and airy. So we'll look at the blend modes. It's probably still use multiply to get everything kind of lined up as normal. But then I think we'll be going very light. I'll try to go very light on it. Use the this kind of thing, soft light. Instantly looks like it could be a good option for that very washed out, airy kind of look. Right, okay, so I'll use multiply just to get things lined up. Right, what's a good starting point now? Is a good starting point. So let's move the move tool, get this over here. Yeah, that's about. I don't think I zoomed in on these, but I could be wrong. I could well have moved around a little bit too much in amongst these. You know how I don't like to mix these things up. Actually, that may be quite nice with the extra, slightly different starting point. Obviously, a different start from when it's been in my hand. So let's get this one over here. So obviously, we've got this dark side, which we might try to avoid any of that. Some of this might just not quite work. But we'll see when it blends using a lighter blend mode, because obviously this is multiplied. That's what I'm hoping, Peter. That's what was attracting me to it. So maybe it's this, but I think I'm going to have to reduce some layers. You know, it might come down to maybe it's only 3 layers, depending how it comes away. Right, so let's take that one out because that's quite dark. Yeah, that's losing a lot of the castle there. Now this one, I'm thinking edit, free transform, and if I just rotate that down, does that now line up? I mean, the castle's on the cant. Oh shit, that's it's committed now, isn't it? Boo. How far out is that? What have I done to get that? Oh my god. Right, okay, anyways. You hear my desktop buzzing away. Shush. Right, let's go for that. I need to bring a bit more structure into this right hand side. Good evening, John. How are you, sir? Things are canny. Thank you very much, John. Doing all right. Oh, you know, last week I was feeling as miserable as sin. Thankfully, that didn't last. Ooh, now this one we can maybe start using again. See, I'm not that bothered about having much detail into there. So if we can reduce this, strength of this, just so we got the hint of that castle there. Now I need to know what the where's me why am I window workspace photography might be better. There we go. Needed the histogram back. So just to make sure we're not clipping too much, there might be something in there, not a lot, but something. So this one I think needs a mask. Needs it to go that way. Like so. You get that kind of blend there going. Because this tree here was really nice on one of these layers. Whatever. Cancel. Don't mind me just farting around here. So I could drop this by a bit. And then this one by a bit. I do feel I'm losing a bit of Structure on the left. Just turning these on and off to remember which layer's which. You've all gone silent. Right, okay, so we have this layer needs to be, yeah, this layer needs to be blended out a bit. So we need a layer mask, and that needs to go the other way. Needs to go to there. Oh no, I haven't gotten one mistake to make. That needs to be on multiply, and there you go. That one got faded that line out quite nicely. Damn that work, Jen. Damn that work. Will do, Peter. Will do. But the other thing that's coming for Patreon people, obviously, apart from the discount code, is that this week is the Zoom chat on Friday night. Or Friday night for me, I should say. So hopefully there'll be one or two of you around for that. Would be lovely to see you all. Or a few of you. I've found that most people prefer paper, Sergio. I have had the odd. I mean, this is probably pre-ICM days. I have had the odd inquiry about like metallic kind of stuff. All good, Stephen. Good to see you. Good to see you. But I generally normally just paper. I mean, to be honest, if somebody wants to pay us enough money, I'm quite happy to sort out prints of mine on other mediums. You know, I'm not a complete Philistine, and would I look into such things for an exchange for the readies? Just enough there. Right. How, Stephen? Are you well? Seeing as you're late, Stephen, I will just going to... yeah, Canvas. I haven't really had any inquiries about canvases, to be honest, Andrew. I should kind of configure... But then again, nobody's buying prints these days anyway. That's why I'm selling t-shirts. Seeing as you're late, Stephen, I'm just going to drop this little command in here for you to have a look at. New thing, launched today, or rather about half an hour ago. Feel free to check it out, Stephen. I'm sure you could do with a new t-shirt or a hat for the winter. Right, what else? What am I doing here? Giving everybody the hard sell tonight. Right, so let's trim all this excess off. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's the option's there for where I get my printing done anyway. So I just need to configure it. It's on the list of things to do. Like I said, I've had a productive day and a half. I think that might be it for the week. But yeah, it is very much on Things to do. I've got a calendar to put together. Paul keeps on mentioning a book, so I need to do lots to do. I've got a talk in a fortnight over towards the lakes. So I've got that to prep for, which is, well, also entails a day away. Or a couple of days away. Holiday in the lakes in November. So I need to get. There's a lot of things to get prepped ready for Christmas. I've still got YouTube videos to shoot or finish off and all that. Right. Yeah, it's going to be very light and airy. This one. I think we might need to. We'll see what it turns out like. We'll see how it turns out. I did say it was going to be. It was deliberately going in as light and airy. Light and airy. Nice, Andrew. Nice. Indeed, Stephen, indeed. Remember, it's not an ego thing. I was given that moniker. So it's not an ego thing. I'm just making use of it. I didn't before everybody has a go at us. Can't say past the microphone. Down a little bit in that, in the lightness. Not an ego thing, but I thought that's a good thing to have. It's a good thing to have. Just remind people that I still exist, because everybody seems to be doing lots of things around ICM, and I'm like, nobody. That's not right. People, it's not a case of nobody ever asks us, because I've had loads of people ask us recently. Loads of various groups that are doing things. And I keep on saying yes. So I'm going to be even busier. Right, anyways. As a basis, it's not as intricate as what I usually do. Where I'd be like, I'm happy to walk away from this. Because at the minute, I'm not happy with this. But putting in am I still real? Well, we had a decent chat about, what was it, 3 weeks ago? A month ago? Whatever it was, Stephen. Good evening, Alan. How was the holiday? Some mightily impressive pictures of mightily impressive mountains I saw online, mate. Hope you had a wonderful time. Not jealous at all. Am I still reading? AI. Need to utilize AI more. I really do. I really, really do. You're not using it enough to my advantage. You know, so I can like spend more time sleeping. Would be a good thing. You can verify human. Only just, Stephen. Only just qualifying as human. So. Oh, by the way, Alan, still never had an email. Still never had an email. What a disaster that thing's been this year. I don't mind being bad or not selected. It's just the fact I've not had an email to say yes or no or what. Right, what preset? All these presets should be good tonight because it's like the ideal starting point, or color-wise anyway. So let's jump on with a bit of Gertrude. Gertrude's always a game bird. Go on, you're gonna do anything or not? No. Right, trees. So this is where we're going to get a texture from the for the sky. that slightly off? Bring this down. So that, so not the best of conversations. You know, I mean, I did say at the start that I wasn't too fussed about having the keep of the castle prominent. I was quite happy with that just being faded. However, I'm not sure. Not sure. But we could blend something in for a little bit more structure. I know, mate. I know, mate. We're probably all gonna, like everybody that didn't do anything, we'll probably get an email like the day before the announcement. That's probably what it's going to be. Boom, stop now. Really? Well, to be honest, I mean, I'm quite happy. I mean, I do really like this left-hand side here. That's really nice. But I think when we go back into Photoshop, I would maybe just outline that. But yes, I am liking it at this moment, Peter. Don't worry. Don't worry, I'm not going to wreck it yet. So lens vignette, we can improve on that. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna bring in some sky. No, let's keep it. Let's keep it ethereal. About there. Still wish they would sort out the old not being able to move the sliders very far because it's so things are so bloody small. That's what she says. Oh, by the way, everybody, before I forgot to mention it earlier, I finally had something on TikTok that went semi-viral. Not like massively viral or anything like that, but a little bit viral. Like, viral for me. One of my TikToks got... hold on a minute. Refresh. Over 16,000 views. And the last time I looked, about 700 likes. Remarkable. Remarkable. And it had nothing to do with photography as well, which is even better. It really boosts your confidence, doesn't it? Right, if I flatten that off, there's going to be a little bit more stuff there to... I mean, we do have this area up here, which is not brilliant. Oh, I know, Stephen, I know. I'm just trying to stay young. Trying to stay young. I think maybe he's going to have to blend this with itself. Just to give it a little bit more. Right, is there anything else I can get out of these? That one looks promising. I could do with something a little bit more in the foreground. Maybe. Anyways, let's apply this and back into Photoshop. But I think what I might do is come back in for the similar setup and just try to get rid of this top corner, because I think it's kind of annoying me. Knock that back into Analog X Pro, and just see what I can do anything to get rid of that corner. What was it? I forgot which one it was now. The other one I looked at, thought about. No. It was Gertrude, wasn't it? Gertrude, where are you? There we are. This one. I'm not sure yet, Serge. Mainly, Sergio, sorry. Mainly, I just want to reclaim a little bit more of the castle here, make it a little bit more apparent, and I want to get rid of this top right hand corner. So I need second exposure, and I need to move stuff around until that goes away, basically. And that's maybe not the best way to do it. We want to get this out of the way. Rotate this around. Sometimes you have to play around to get things into the position that you wish. See what I'm trying to do is for this to kind of cut off about here. See, I don't mind this ghostly little bit here. Well, I just want the bulk of it to end around about here where it is. So we've got more of a lopsided thing on the left hand side when we come back into it. I'm just kind of hoping that it does blend in a pleasant kind of way. So we'll take this and then we'll put this back into Photoshop. And then we'll probably, maybe it's not structure in Photoshop, but maybe add a little bit of texture in Lightroom when we get back into that. I think that might be the plan. Apologies if you can hear me swallowing that. Right, so what we want to blend this together is around. You can see that's the full strength. If we can kind of bring this in a bit, like to about there. This is a bit more. I'm just wondering if I increase that a little bit more. Control J on that, and then. So I've kind of I've multiplied this, the duplicate of this layer, and then I can just dial this back and then just bring it in slightly, slowly. That helps add in just a little bit more into there. So without it is that, with it is that. Just adds in a little bit more. Now, castle bit, I was kind of wanting to bring more of that in. So I need to bring... It's the bomb now. It's the bomb. Now who's down with the kids, Peter? Yeah, they need to see the bunny. Right, so which layer has the best castle? If I bring this up here... Yes, that's got the delete layer mask. Yep. So ignore what this is doing everywhere because I'm really only after this kind of area. So let's zoom in. So I take that off, if we dial, well, this is already, oh, it's already on soft light, so if that's on overlay, so it's on soft light, it's on 58% already, so we can dial that up and dial it down, just ease it in. Do it, Jen. No, only joking. Only joking. Peter's already contributed today, and very much appreciated. We can't rob him blind. Right, so that's that. So we need a mask. So might as well just hold down Alt and give it an inverted mask, and then all I need to do is paint in. Let's go about 40% and about 50% flow. Will you get back in the... increase the size of this, like so. I need to soften the edges into soft. And then just very, very gradually, softly just paint. Lovely. Did castle back in on the, just on the horizon there. Horizon, headland, whatever you want to call it. Who never said my camera had gone off? Oh, there we're back. Yes, don't give Jen ideas, because she will just... She's fully independent. She doesn't ask for permission when she's doing these TipGame words. She's just straight in there and does them. Yes. Like, one of the surges was getting very confident using red last week. Very dangerous thing to do. Right, so... Does she get... No. Can't even give her a discount for the bloody merch. She jumps in. Right, so what else did we want? How big is this file? 2 point something gig. I've already made one, man. It's going disastrously the stream. Quite liking these colours. Not that much. Something like that. That's pretty pleasant, I think. Sadist. Seems so, Peter. Seems so. Too funny. Far too funny. Right, I think that looks pretty decent. So, and I'm not going to go in and try to get 7 different versions this week. I'm just going to go in with this one vision. This is kind of the vision that I had, roughly. So it is kind of worked. We can maybe darken that off a little bit. Do I want to do dodging and burning? Nah. Because we'll be here for all bloody night if I start on that. So we will save this out. And hopefully it will not require being changed to a PSB. It will just nicely save it and send it back into Lightroom. So we will wait. Yeah, these Aussies, never trust them. Good God, but saved it already? My God, what's gone wrong here? Well, it's a TIFF, that's why. When did I change that back? Oh, maybe it's because this is a new install, isn't it? Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. Turned out nice for a change. Not often it happens these days. Things is getting harder to do. Right, back to Lightroom. We've got this one. You've got 3 stars. So I know we're So I know it's decent. So we want basic adjustments. And we were thinking a little bit of texture, weren't we? So you play with the slider, that's too much. Well, we could do local texture. So it's a bit more scratchy on the trees and then leave everything else. What about clarity? Clarity and texture. And dehaze. Jesus, it's nasty. Gnarly, as some people say. Right, so I want this to be a little bit more textures. So we need a mask. Then we wait forever for a mask to appear. Radial gradient, that's the one I want. Stop trying to detect things that aren't there. Bloody thing. Right. Why couldn't I leave left masking and all that alone? It's fine the way it was. Where? Texture, that's the one. Adding a little bit of texture there. Well, 33, 32. So that gives us a bit of crunch over there. And then we'll do the same here. Make it. Why can't? Is it a two keystroke thing? Is it? No. Takes the entire thing. Is it Control and Alt? Yes, it is. Thank you very much. We got there in the end. Let's rotate this around and make this smaller because we just want this section with that little bit of crunch, mainly focused on there. Like so. I'll probably think this is now too crunchy, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Zooming in, it looks all right. Zooming in looks fine. Obviously, it's quite soft over here, but that's fine. Right, so I've got a bit of magenta there and a bit of blue there. Come on. Just generally warm that up a little bit more. Just tad. Have I gone too far there? Is that too bright now? No, I think it's all right. Maybe just dial that back to 10. 13. 12. There you go. Split the difference. Split difference is always a good option. Right, so that's that. Blacks. Any final tweaks on these? Yeah, well, just bring the whites back so it flattens it a little bit. It was a bit too technical term. I have no idea what that was about. It was a bit bright. That's what I meant. Shadows. Come down on the shadows a bit. I think highlights. There's very few highlights, to be honest. Indeed, Jen. I'm glad you were listening. It's one of them ones I should really, I should be getting these things clipped, shouldn't I? Right, I'm just playing now, aren't I? Yes, I am. Just playing. There we are. I think that will do. I think that'll do before I get too far. Well, I do believe that viewers can clip things. Just saying. I do believe you can clip things and then they go to some kind of clip collection somewhere. I think. I don't know. I think it works a bit. I think it works a bit different to Twitch. I don't know. Then maybe it's whether I can repurpose those for shorts or what. I don't know. Who knows? I'm rambling as per usual. Right, so I think we call this kind of finished. So we want some cropping, obviously. Let's make a virtual copy. Get the crop tool out. Now, obviously, we want a standard 3x2 for this one, I think, or an option of. That probably fits it about nicely. Just so we want this tree in there, and then that main tree, and then fade it out enough on that side. And we want, so that's pretty much about there. It's all good. How this might work as a square, I don't think it's going to. Which we shall see. The square crop. Let's try it. No, I don't think it's because ideally we still want this in, and then that's out. So let's try a 5x4. This will obviously work. Or it'll fit in what I want fitted in anyway. More sky. More foreground. Tough one. He's out there. Pull this across. Do about there. Perfect. Grand. Right, and I think we'll need a long boy. What do you call it? 16x9. Because it's nearly time already. It's nearly the end of the month. Nearly time for another round of Patreon and so another round of wallpapers. So for this one, sky. Yeah, I think we definitely need more sky than foreground on this one. Turns out nice. That'll make a nice little wallpaper. Should we go even wider? See if a 2x1 will go. 2x1 work. The 2x1 is maybe where you start bringing in more foreground. It's really one of those weird bit of a change. You want the top of the tree in shot, but with enough breathing room around about it. Thank you, Peter. It was a rather lovely tree. Or rather one shot. Came out quite nice. So what I mean, there was actually one frame that the tree came out really nicely in. So is it not that one? Was it that one or was it this one? It was this one. This was the. I mean, if you look up here, you can almost look. It's almost like a cross. Like camera's obviously moved top right to bottom left, or bottom left to top right, one way or the other. But there's also verticals in it, so it looks like cross hatching. So it almost looks like a painted kind of technique, but there's been enough of this, this highlighted bush to retain the structure of it. So that's what appealed to me in this particular frame. So that's kind of where most of this image has come from, this area here. And I want, the rest of the image didn't really matter as much. So it's little things like that you got to kind of look out for. Obviously, you can get them, start mixing them together with that. Look for stronger elements like that you can kind of latch onto. Free tip of the day. Then obviously you got these ones that are a bit more washed out, and you didn't. Yeah, this is where the cattle bit's coming from. So there you go. There you go. Right, turned out nice. I think. All right, anyway. Turned out nice. I'll probably, once the lights are turned off, I'll probably find that think the colours are a bit too garish. But we shall see. I can always just turn those down with a slider. It's one of the best. The good things about Lightroom, very small adjustment will sort that out in a fraction of a second. Right. So there you go, everybody. Let's put that back to there and that back to there. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, and thank you very much for letting me blab on about the merch store at the start of the episode. Thank you for listening about that. Too garish? I'm a tough person to please, Peter. So things when I'm looking at the two screens, to me it looks better on the other screen, which is not calibrated as well as this one. So I think it might just need a slight dial back on the oranges, just a very slight one, very minuscule change needed. Thank you, Ozzy. Thank you. Lovely to see you today, sir. But yeah, thank you, Sergio. Thank you. But yeah, it's good. Nice little image there, and kind of came out how I was hoping it would. So that's always a benefit. That's always a good thing. You know, some weeks obviously we come here and we don't know where it's going, and we're flinging stuff at walls, just hoping something will stick. But today was one of those episodes. Thankfully, because I took like half an hour of the start of the stream to yap on about merch. That the rest of it kind of came in nicely after that. You know, it was a nice simple image. I wasn't doing 7 versions in the same half an hour. Thank you, Stephen. It's one of my better ideas. But yes, thank you very much, all. So yes, remember, Patreon people, your discount code will be going out on that shortly, probably. And also, Patreon people, if you are available on Friday, then it is the Zoom chat, which I'll be sending out the link for that probably tomorrow, or maybe I'll just be remembering on Friday afternoon. So that'll go out for then. So hopefully we'll see some of you for that on Friday evening. Remember, if you want to join in, everybody, anybody that isn't already in the Patreon, you can join the Patreon for as little as $4, I think, which is nothing, minuscule amount. And if you join for $4, you get a discount code for any of the merch. So, you know, now's your chance. Got to, trying to make it worthwhile. But yeah, going to be continuing tweaking Patreon a little bit. Nothing major. Not changing tiers or anything like that. Exactly, Jen. Exactly. I mean, if you want a hoodie, and if you get 15% off a hoodie, that is way more than $4. And you get to chat to me. What more can you want? But yeah, so there you go. Right. Let's get this up. No, that's the wrong one. That's where we're at. I've had a few viewers this evening. That makes a change. Very good. That might be because I put a thing out on Instagram. Zoom chat, like I've said to probably all of you before, Zoom chats are probably my favourite thing to do because I get to talk to you guys. Granted, it's usually 4 of us, but it's still good fun. But yeah, what was that? Ping. But yeah. Right, everybody, I will let you go. Thank you very, 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 very much for hanging around and supporting me this evening. We made a quite nice little image. Do remember about the merch thingy. Let's go and click lots of things. Exactly, we can sort out all the problems, Peter, can't we? So if you're interested in Patreon, there is that link to find out. So you can also join the YouTube membership, which is the join button below the stream. What else is there? The merch button, obviously. I need to add an enter to that. So check out kingofICM.com for that. I think I'll probably about do. I never got around to doing the Apache sound video that I mentioned last week, but I was busy. So I will hopefully get that done soon, because I need to get that channel going as well more, because it's soon going to be darker at nights and I'm going to have more time. I think. So, right, thank you all very much. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever's left of it, wherever you are in the world. Have a lovely rest of the week. We'll hopefully see some of you on Friday, and we'll hopefully see the rest of you next Tuesday. And it's gonna be October next Tuesday. Good God, the year's disappearing. There'll be already Christmas stuff in the bloody shops. But yeah. Well, sometimes there's a therapy session, Stephen. Depends who turns up, to be honest. So, right. Thank you all very much. I will stop waffling. Have a lovely rest of the evening, and we will see you all soon. Till then, keep hard. See yous.